Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Sounds Like Sam. I'm your host Sam. Thanks for tuning in. This is week 4 waiver wire ads. And I just want to say, after 3 weeks of NFL football, it is great to be back. Love this time of year. Excellent viewing of the first 3 weeks of the season. The best thing about it being after week 3 and week 3 being over is that we have a solid sample size of 3 games that can really tell the performance of how players are doing, where they're going. If you can see a trend, 3 games is always a good starting point. And especially I feel like for defenses, you start to get a good handle and a good grip on who are the good defenses, and you can definitely still get a top 5, potentially top 3 defense from the waiver wire, which is good to see after week 3. But really after this week, a lot of availability for players is going to just be tougher to come by. So you really got to work this week and make the best of it, because to be completely honest, there's really not going to be probably too much, I guess, gems on the waiver wire that you can still get unless, I don't know, there's a crack in the league and nobody's just noticed someone. But this is a great week to get a fantasy waiver wire gem potentially, and salvage your team if you're 0-3. So the players I have for this week include quarterback Marcus Mariota, specifically if you are down Brock Purdy or if you're missing Jaden Daniels. This is a good pickup. He just played a really solid performance versus the Las Vegas Raiders, scoring 22 fantasy points. He did a great job filling in for Daniels, and if he does come back this week, I think this is a good replacement for you if he's available. If for some reason quarterback Daniel Jones is still available, he didn't have a great week fantasy-wise, but the team looked really good, won another game. His offense is gelling with the team, really striking chord with wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr., so good to see that going on. Running back-wise, Kareem Hunt is a player that's probably going to be available for a lot of people. This is more for Isaiah Pacheco owners. I feel like because of the way that the offense of the Chiefs has run recently, they've really just been going back to him because things just aren't really meshing well for them. It's been really hard for them not to have either Xavier Worthy or Rashee Rice out there as wide receivers. So it's tough for them to get some points going, but he seems to at least be getting the ball. And I think if you're a Pacheco owner and like just in case of injury, I think you kind of want to target Kareem Hunt, and he's obviously getting the ball and doing stuff. So, and there just really aren't that many options if you're in like a deep league for fantasy. The other guy that I have been noticing he's been doing a pretty solid job considering all he's been given so far is running back Miles Sanders of the Dallas Cowboys. He's done a good job with what he's been given. Obviously, he's not the front runner and the RB1 for the team that beat Javonte Williams, but I do like the way that he's competing in the offense, and I think if for some reason Williams gets hurt, this could be a nice bench player for you to have and just stash, just in case. We just had a couple of running backs kind of get the go-ahead this week, really just because of injuries. And I'm talking guys like James Conner's out for the season. That means Trey Benson is up if you have him. Najee Harris got injured as well. Omarion Hampton got the leg up when really it was kind of going to be in his favor because Hampton really wasn't doing that much. But both Trey Benson and Hampton really took advantage of that, so that's kind of why it's key to get backups, especially if you have the RB1s for these guys. If you're looking for, or really if you have an opening that you think you could take one of these guys at, it's just recommended because it's just in case. So those are kind of why I like those guys. Wide receiver Trey Tucker is a guy I'd be targeting if you need a wide receiver. I mean, he had a massive game, 140 receiving yards, 3 touchdowns. I believe he had like 9 receptions, maybe more. I kind of didn't remember his exact stat line, but he did really well for the Raiders, and he seemed to be the go-to target in his last game when he couldn't hook up with Jacoby Myers. So, and he's been playing okay, everything considered. And if you have a guy like Jerry Jeudy, which I have, like, I really strongly probably going to be targeting him because, especially in like really deep leagues, if you're struggling at wide receiver, I think you almost have to consider trying to add him to your roster just because he might have the potential to have more games like this because especially the Raiders are not really the best team right now and they seem to be down a lot and trying to get back into the second half of games. So that's kind of why I like him. The other guy I've been liking is wide receiver Tyquan Thornton from the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like he's been their deep threat guy when Xavier Worthy's been out. Now, Xavier Worthy might come back, but it is good to see that Mahomes is targeting him, and he's starting to get a little bit of a better rapport with him. He did have a touchdown this weekend, which was good to see, but it seems like Mahomes has been favoring him over a guy like Hollywood Brown, which I kind of thought the opposite would happen, but Thornton has the speed that Mahomes is looking for and likes, so if Xavier Worthy is out another week, which he might not be, but if he is, Thornton might not be a bad guy to look at if you need a wide receiver. Tight ends, Brenton Strange for the Jacksonville Jaguars has been doing a really solid job. If you need a guy and you don't have like Juwan Johnson or Zach Ertz, if they're not available anymore, Brenton Strange is a guy that I would look for the tight end position. Defenses I like this week would include the Bears versus Las Vegas and the Jags versus the San Francisco 49ers. The Bears in particular, they played a great game versus the Dallas Cowboys. Had like 4 picks versus Dak and the Cowboys this weekend. So they've been playing really well, starting to gel it together a little bit, and the defense is coming together nicely. I don't mind them if you're picking up guys every weekend. I think they could do well. Jacksonville Jaguars have actually looked really good too. They're going against San Francisco 49ers team that's relatively depleted. Now I know they do still have a lot of great talent on the team. I mean, they still got Christian McCaffrey, they got the wide receiver, and guys have been stepping up for them, but I don't know, the Jags have been playing really well on defense, so that's kind of why I like them, just because they're going against more of a depleted team, and they've been playing good defense and scoring good in fantasy. Kicking wise, I like Joshua Carty from the Jags. Oh no, sorry, he's from the Rams. I like him because they're going against the Colts, and I think it's going to be a high scoring game, and I think a lot of opportunities for field goals, so I like that. Even though they did get blown up at the very last 2 field goals of the day, they were blocked by the Eagles team, which is a little bit concerning, but hoping that the Rams can fix that problem going into this week. And then Spencer Schrader of the Colts, he's the number 1 kicker. He's still available in like 70% of ESPN fantasy leagues. If you don't have a decent kicker, I would recommend Spencer Schrader. He's been killing it so far. Alright, well, those were my waiver wire pickups for week 4. Thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. As always, appreciate the watch and have a good one.